Hi guys, it's Maddie and this is the Soft Girl Podcast. I have not sat down and recorded an episode of this podcast in like 4 years, so this is exciting and I didn't want to launch it again until I knew that I could stick to it because I hate starting things and then just letting them fall off. And I figured I would make it a podcast and a video depending on how you listen. Sometimes I'm a video watcher, sometimes I listen in the car, so there's a little something for everybody. So you may remember that forever ago my podcast was called The Bitch Mindset, and it makes me laugh now when I say it because it's so far from what I actually am and what I want to be known for. So that is why I rebranded, and I really wanted to move away from the like toxic hustle culture kind of mindset that I was promoting and really talk more about what resonates most with me, which is being more feminine and living a softer life and just be more intentional with everything you do and less like busting my ass 24/7. So that brings me to the first thing I want to talk about, which is why I stepped away. And I think just not feeling like me was the biggest reason. Like I just could not feel that connection with the bitch mindset because I didn't like that era I was in. It was a really bad time for me and I was going through so many changes. I had just started Grow the Business. I was being it was my first experience being more well known, and with that comes the negative side of things, like people copying me or people talking bad about me. There was an entire like anonymous group on Facebook and I got posted there constantly. People would take pictures of me in public and laugh at me. And it was something I was not used to because this is not a very big town. So it just was weird and it was different and it made me really mean. It honestly made me like mean, vengeful, spiteful, just all these things I really didn't want to be. And that's kind of where that foundation of where the bitch mindset started on, and it just became just not me. Like I was so unhappy all the time. I was the first person to like call somebody out or drag somebody or like dox somebody, and it literally just like ate me up inside. Every time that I would get into some sort of internet commotion, I would literally be like shaking, and it was my body trying to tell me like, hey, this is not you, this is not what you want to be doing. But I stuck with it for so long and I hated it, and I look back now and I know that I had to go through that to know that's not what I want for my life. But it kind of just played into that, like I just could not keep doing this podcast and feeling the way I did because it just wasn't me, and I only ever wanted to be like authentic. Now I'm at a place where I am a much better version of myself, lots of therapy. And I really love the person I'm becoming. I'm 27 now, and I think I started when I was like 23. So I think I'm in a really good spot to start this up again, and there'll be some episodes where it's just me, and there's also going to be episodes where I talk. I don't know if we'll always stay right here in my guest bedroom, but it's got the best lighting in here, so that's where we're going to start. So let's talk about updates. So obviously from last time I sat down for a podcast to now, a lot has changed. Grow the Business has grown to almost 20,000 members. We're all over the world. I was featured in Facebook and they like wrote an article about me about founding the business. I sold my car detailing company. That was like, maybe I'll even make a whole episode about that because that was like super pivotal moment for me. I started Nix & Crow. I think I was recording my podcast when I still owned Nix & Crow, which was a boutique. After that happened, I wanted to move buildings really bad. So I put everything in storage and I put a deposit down on a building that wasn't finished yet. It was getting remodeled. And in that time, there were so many delays with the remodeling. We actually got robbed and somebody stole like 90% of my inventory from my storage unit, and it wasn't like properly insured because I didn't know any better, and they didn't catch the guy who did it. So we basically at a loss of thousands of dollars, and I was just like, I've lost my passion for this. I don't even want to reopen it. So I didn't reopen that. I just closed it. I had a wedding venue for a little bit. That was fun. Realized that I just didn't really like it. Wasn't for me, so I sold it. What else am I missing? I started a coffee shop. That is like the biggest thing. I own 2 coffee shop brands now. Working on a 3rd sometime in 2026. I love my coffee shops. One is Surfside Sips and the other is Flora and Ivy Coffee and Goods. Surfside Sips is more of my fun business. Like, I would compare it to like places like Dunkin' or Dutch Bros. Like really fun, like energetic, crazy drinks, things like that. Where Flora and Ivy is a very soft, very like feminine, chill vibe. We have books there, like a whole library. We have different vendors. We have different like antique stuff. I just love it in there so much, and it actually has a full commercial kitchen, so I get to bake a lot in there. I opened and still run Capital Party Co., which is a luxury event planning business. We mostly focus on balloons and charcuterie. That is like one of my main things, I guess I would say. And I still own my branding and marketing agency, except now it's called Studio Peach Goods, and I have a big huge laser, so I get to cut crazy projects for my clients, and I love doing it. I love being creative. And then the last thing I am working on right now is my ranch brand called Althaus Ranch. And Althaus is just the German pronunciation of my last name. And I went back and forth on this so long. I know I wanted a ranch. I know I wanted to have a big farm, but I live in a residential neighborhood right now, and I was just like, well, that's just not possible. I'm going to have to put it off. And then for a while I was like, why am I putting this off when I could literally just go after what I want now, and like the rest will eventually come. So I started Althaus Ranch, and I have a garden in my backyard. I have chickens. I can lots of stuff. I'm working on a farm box. It's like a monthly subscription. I make butter. I make cheese balls, like all sorts of fun stuff I get to do, and I love that because it allows me to be creative, and it's like a little bit of a break for me to just kind of sit down and be like, okay, well, I'm going to make peach jam today, or peach butter, or something like that. I am currently on a little bit of a wellness journey. I was so busy and so stressed that I started just using like eating and soda and Red Bulls as my coping mechanism. I was constantly consuming them, and probably like 3 or 4 weeks ago, I just looked in the mirror and I hated what I saw. Like, I had stayed the same weight, but my body was like 2-3 times its size because it's so inflamed. I was carrying so much like stress and baggage and water weight on me, and I just like, I was always in pain, and I just didn't like how I felt. So I cut out soda, and I cut out most caffeine. I have a latte every now and then, and I cut out Red Bull, which is so nice. My body feels so much better already. It's raining outside now, so if you hear that, sorry. But anyway, yeah, I've been loving that journey, and just feeling lighter. Like, I feel so much more healthier just cutting those few things out, and I want to continue that. I want to keep nurturing my body and feeding it good things, and I want to keep documenting that process too. Another big update, which I don't think anyone would have saw coming, was I got a dog. And I'm not a dog person, I'm a cat person. I have 7 cats right now. 3 of them are foster cats. But I was at the shelter like 2 weeks ago, and I usually go there to just like play with the dogs, play with the animals and stuff like that. And I played with this dog named Marion. She was a puppy, and for some reason, like, I just gravitated to her so much, and it was like a voice in my head that was like, whether it's God or the universe or whatever was speaking to me in that moment, was like, this is what you're supposed to be doing right now. Don't question it. Like, this is your path. And so I went back and forth. I talked to my family about it, and everyone obviously had their doubts because I'm a really busy person. I don't really like dogs. But ultimately I decided, I went home, debated whatever back and forth, and ultimately decided later that day to adopt her. And so I wasn't able to take her home until she was fully fixed, and that didn't happen for I think like a week and a half after. And that whole week and a half, I was so, like, I had so many regrets because I was like, what am I doing? Like, this was like, I just didn't know what I was doing. And then I got the call to pick her up, and she just loved me so much. She loves being at my mom's house with my mom's dog. And that first night with her, I went to bed. She laid on the bed with me, and I just started crying because I felt so overwhelmed with emotions, and I was like, I guess just not ready for my life to change in every way. And I was kind of just like, what am I doing? Like, what the fuck am I supposed to be doing with any of this? I don't know anything about raising dogs. I don't like dogs. And then I just went to sleep, and it's been a learning curve, that's for sure. But I really feel confident in the fact that, this was part of the next phase of my life. Is, one of the biggest things that I struggle with and I want to change about myself is my lack of patience. And if anything, June, which is what I renamed her to, I named her June. June has showed me and challenged my patience in so many ways, and I feel like that is what she's here for. She's teaching me that, and I am also able to give her a second chance at life. She's only 8 months old, so just being able to be that for her, I think, is really important. And I'm just really curious and excited to see how this continues to change my life, because obviously, going from a really busy person who works all the time to someone with a puppy is kind of drastic. And it has been a challenge, but we've been making it work. I wouldn't have been able to do it without my mom and my siblings. When I really, really can't bring her somewhere, they watch her, and she loves being at their house. Literally, every time we get there, she immediately jumps out of the car and runs to the front door. She loves playing with my mom's dog. But yeah, she's been coming everywhere with me. We go run all of our errands, and it's been fun. So in the last month or so, I've been really feeling the burnout, seriously bad, and it goes hand in hand with my body being so inflamed. But I was really just struggling, and I have been struggling for a while with I have so many goals, I have so many ideas, but nothing is happening, nothing's coming to fruition. And I really had to sit and think about the fact that I'm not doing anything crazy to make those goals a reality. I'm literally just sitting here spending my time wishing and being sad that I'm not a content creator anymore, or being sad that I don't have a podcast anymore, or being sad that Surfside Sips is not out of debt yet, instead of literally taking that energy and applying it to making that happen. So that's why I'm here. I have been pushing myself so hard this week with just making actionable steps towards what I want to do with my life. And a big part of that is sharing my life and being a content creator and literally actively influencing people. And I know it's always been in my head, I know that I'm meant for this. I know I'm meant to share my life, and I know I'm meant to teach others how to do the same thing. I have so much self-doubt sometimes. I literally just get in my head and I'm like, well, if it's not perfect, then there's no point. And I really had to literally look at the facts, and the facts was that content creators that started the same time as me are already doing big things with their life, and I'm not. Why? Not because I'm not great, it's because I'm not applying myself. I post one video and then I'm ghost for 3 months. So this last week I've been really, really at it. I posted a really long vlog on my YouTube. I made 10 or 12 videos for TikTok, and then I am obviously recording the first podcast episode back. And that's going to go on YouTube. That's going to get posted. And then, yeah, I don't know. We'll see how that goes. And God forbid it doesn't go anywhere. At least I would have done something. At least I can stop sitting here and being like, well, I didn't even try. I did try. I'm literally trying right now. Well, this episode is definitely going to be shorter than what a normal episode would be. I'm going to aim for 30 to 45 minutes per episode. But I just want to get my foot in the door, talk to you guys, update you guys, say hi to the new people that never listened to the podcast before. And yeah, I think the next episode I want to touch on my life with ADHD and OCD and how that's affected things. And then I am planning my first episode with a guest. So I'm excited about that. And if you guys want to keep watching my episodes or keep listening, depending on how you do it, make sure you subscribe either to my YouTube or on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, and I will see you guys next Sunday.